If you pay even a little bit of attention to gaming news, then you will have most likely heard about the new computer being released by Valve in 2022. And you know, it isn't quite like other gaming systems out there. No, this system is all about its form factor. Despite having the portability of a gaming laptop, the Steam Deck, as it's being called, is clearly meant for handheld play. More than anything, it is very clearly inspired by the Nintendo Switch. The similarities are striking to say the least, but there are many key differences between these two pieces of hardware that is causing a lot of gamers to turn their eyes away from the Switch and onto the Steam Deck. Let's get into it. Let me start by saying that from the title, when I say Nintendo is in trouble, I don't mean they're on the verge of bankruptcy or anything because of this reveal. No. Nintendo still firmly has its place in the market alongside PC gaming, the Xbox family, and Sony, and I'd have to be truly foolish to think they're going anywhere anytime soon. But I will say that this reveal really doesn't help Nintendo in any way. Competing consoles are one thing, but Microsoft and Sony have almost always stayed out of the handheld market, aside from the PSP and Vita. Nintendo has basically always had the handheld market pretty much cornered. However, I feel this is the first time Nintendo has really been directly challenged in this way. The reveal for the Steam Deck seemed very deliberate, as it was very soon after Nintendo revealed the Nintendo Switch OLED to a very lukewarm response from basically everybody. For years now, rumors of a Nintendo Switch Pro have been tossed around, and for years, Nintendo keeps letting consumers down. There are now 4 different versions of the Nintendo Switch to choose from, and not a single one has done the one thing that everyone has asked for from a new revision: increase the hardware capability. The amount of horsepower the newest Nintendo Switch has is no different from the first, which is quite silly if you ask me. Immediately, the Steam Deck has power in its favor. It's already been shown to run games far more intensive than anything the Switch can, and keep in mind, all footage we've seen are still beta versions of the system. Seeing Nintendo announce yet another version of the Switch that I doubt very many predicted or wanted, to then see Steam announce what every Switch Pro dreamer had wanted, and more, was impactful to say the least. But it isn't just the amount of horsepower in these two systems that gives the Steam Deck an edge. The biggest perk that the Steam Deck has over the Nintendo Switch is easily its versatility. By all respects, the Steam Deck is simply a computer. No different from a laptop, only in its form factor. This opens the doors for a slew of things the Nintendo Switch is completely restricted from. Not only does the Steam Deck allow the user to use any game platform you would use on another PC, such as Origin, Epic Games, or Ubisoft, but can support any emulation software there is, including Nintendo Switch emulators, meaning if one really wanted, it could essentially be a stronger version of a Switch Lite. It doesn't stop there either. If one really wanted to, they could add an emulator that runs Mac software. The Steam Deck is essentially a portable version of every game console and computer there is. That is tough for the limited and underpowered Nintendo Switch to go up against. Having the ability to play AAA games as they release through Steam on a handheld sounds fantastic, and it's something the Nintendo Switch just can't match. It truly is amazing that they managed to get Doom and Wolfenstein on this system, but it looks abysmal. There's no real reason to own these games on the Nintendo Switch for anything more than a novelty. It's not the ideal way to play them at all. However, from what we've seen, the Steam Deck will be more than capable of running these games at a good frame rate and high resolution. From an outside perspective, I just can't see any reason that one would go for a Nintendo Switch when the Steam Deck offers so much more and is much, much stronger. Now, it of course isn't all doom and gloom for the Nintendo Switch. Like I said, Nintendo still controls a very core part of the gaming market, and one new release isn't gonna sink them. But I really hope that the Steam Deck can be a bit of a wake-up call for Nintendo. The potential for on-the-go gaming is now higher than ever, and seeing as Valve has managed to make the Steam Deck as little as $499, the same price as the new Nintendo Switch OLED, it shows that Nintendo really needs to step up their game. There are a ton of awesome new releases on their way any day now for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm sure all of them will be tons of fun. But I couldn't help but feel that even something as simple as a tiny bit more kick in the Nintendo Switch would go a long way to help these games not only run better, but just feel better and appeal more to the general public. I mean, seriously, the Switch has trouble running ports of Xbox 360 games, and that's pretty pathetic. An example of a game I'm really looking forward to is Metroid Dread, and it looks like a lot of fun, but from the trailers, it just looks really gross. And I can't imagine when it's blown up on a big screen, it's gonna look any better. Nintendo is still doing fine, but it seems the Steam Deck has woken a lot of people up to the potential they just aren't getting out of the Nintendo Switch. Needless to say, the ball is now very much in Nintendo's court, and I can't wait to see what they choose to do with it. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed this shorter little video. I haven't really talked about gaming hardware before, so I hope it was enjoyable. Thanks for stopping by everyone, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed. Take it easy guys. Peace.